Welcome everyone to Progress with Pagano. Today I have a special guest here, the one, the only Sidi. What's going on, my man?
What's up, man? How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I want to bring Sidi on the podcast because he brings some excellent insight on entrepreneurship, starting a new business, leaving a 9-to-5 type role, and venturing out on their own. So without further ado, man, tell us a little bit about you. How did you get into working out in fitness?
Yeah, man. So, when it came to fitness, it was just so random. So my dad got me a gym membership at Planet Fitness. Wasn't really serious about it, but I was there almost every day. Started working out. Didn't have a specific plan, but ended up gaining a lot of muscle. And I was like, oh, well, I'm doing something right. So, then I ended up falling in love with fitness and, making it my lifestyle. I was like, okay, well, if I can do this, and then if I just learn a little bit more about it, learn a little bit more about the body, then I can probably help other people. So, that's how I kind of got into fitness. I was in college for about 1.5 years and, I decided that it wasn't for me. So dropped out of college and then went right into personal training school. So right in Philadelphia. Yeah.
Got it. So you're from Philadelphia?
Yep. Born and raised.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So when did you really think of like the business side of working out? Because you mentioned, you wanted to drop out of college and then go right into personal training school.
Yeah.
Did you kind of think of, well, how can this be lucrative? How can I make a great career off of this? Or is it more of like, I'm going to go after my passion and the money will come?
So I think the way that it started was that I wanted to get a little bit more experience from it. So I started pretty young. With fitness, it was about when I was like 18. So started then, and once I left college, I was like, okay, I'm going to need a little bit more experience before I kind of jump into running my own business. Even though I was selling like workout plans and, I tried to learn a little bit more about diet, trying to help people navigate that. But it was a little bit harder to do. So, I started at F45. That was one of my first positions, F45.
Shout out F45.
And Crunch Fitness.
Crunch,
which the one that you used to actually train at, which is funny.
We grew up not too far from each other.
Yeah, man. So that's once you told me that, I was like, damn, that's like, it's a small world.
It is a small world.
Yeah. But once I finished up with Crunch and F45, I found another position, City Fitness. And when I first heard about the position, they were like, you can make so much money. You can make so much money. But I was like, I was like, what is a lot of money? Can you like explain that to me? No one ever really like put it into perspective for me, until I asked, a few of the coaches when I was interviewing and, they gave me some numbers. And I was like, oh, I can make that kind of money, but it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take, you're going to have to really grind. I took that and I ran with it. So, working at City Fitness has been huge for me, especially as a coach, because I made a lot of money there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you go into maybe a little bit how a trainer's typically paid? Is it commission only? Is there some sort of salary involved?
Yeah. So when you first start, it's hourly. All right. The lowest rate that you can think of. So, you're just there and you're building your own book. All right. So, and that teaches you how to run a business. You have to start from somewhere. Right. All of the leads came through the gym, obviously. You were probably one of the leads. You came upstairs.
Everyone who probably signs up.
Exactly. Everyone who signs up is a lead. And your job is to provide a quality session. Right. So, I think the one thing that City Fitness did well, or, I would say Thrive itself, the program, the personal training program, what they did well is that they taught all of the trainers, how to be a coach, right? So it's not just about being a trainer, but how to be a coach, but a professional coach, right? And how you can take this, further in your life. So yeah, you start off with like a low rate, and that's hourly. That's the only thing that you're getting paid. And once you reach a certain amount of clients, you get paid commission only. Okay. So, it's all based off of how many people are actually coming into your sessions. And yeah, once I surpassed that point, it was like I found a flow.
Yeah.
I found a flow and Then I fell in love with sales. All right. So what I found was that when I sat down with someone, I built such a strong connection that I was able to convert them, even though they would come in, they probably wouldn't even expect to sign up for something like this. But, I learned how to be personable and how to communicate better with people.
I think that's everything. Building trust, building rapport, understanding the needs too, because so for example, I did the when joined City Fitness, you go through like the whole, it's like a test, right? You do like a workout and then you like in-body scan and they kind of give you results.
Yeah.
And then, obviously in the hopes that you sign up. So I can definitely see, you basing how maybe someone performed. Hey, your form is like this, maybe adjust this, little tweaks. Yeah. It's a great workout. Yeah. Kind of sells itself. And then you can kind of cater based off of what the needs of that person are.
Right. Yeah. So. Man. Yeah. I do think it is all about the coach and the person that you are. So it all starts with the workout. All right. And I mentioned it before, like before the workout, you have so many points of contact with, that potential client, which is the first text message that you send out, the questions that you're going to ask this person, and then until you meet them face to face.
Was there like a script or you kind of based off like your communication? Was it like a script or how was that done?
So when you first start off, you don't really know what you're doing, right? So you have to kind of ask all the other coaches or your boss. And, like when I first started, I had no idea how to text somebody. It's like, oh, well, you have this coming up. So, my boss at the time, gave me like a little text message that I could send out. And I think I used that same text message, as a coach my entirety there. And the text messages, it's not more so a script, but you have to sound personable. Cause if not, people might not respond.
It's like, this is a bot. Yeah, like, exactly. This is not a real person.
Exactly. Yeah. So people would be like, yeah, try to add some emojis in there so no one thinks like you're a bot. But a lot of people just still don't respond. So, I think, another thing that was really tough for, me or some other coaches is just giving people phone calls. But, you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do to make sure, someone is coming to that appointment that they set up with you.
Do you have like a CRM or how were you tracking everyone?
It wasn't even a CRM. It was just a schedule. So we would go in, we could see it from home too, but you would go in to the computer and you can see, who's being put on your schedule. And then you can see their profile, their phone numbers,
Were you using your personal number or?
Yeah, I was using my personal number. So, which was probably not the best thing at the time.
I think it's a good idea though.
You think so?
Yeah, because if you leave, you at least have your phone number when you leave.
Right.
So that would be my.
Yeah. I think the tough part with that was mixing work with personal life, right? So, I fell into that trap where I was, working, but then I found myself also working outside of work, which is not a good balance. Yeah. So I think with anyone that, is working any job, like try to find a balance with your personal life and work, even with your business and, and your life, because, you'll fall into that trap where you're only focused on one thing. You're not focused on, your family, friends, girlfriend, whatever that is. And, you don't want to lose that touch.
I agree. I fell into that trap and I'm trying to have a better balance.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard, man. Like you said, I use my phone for everything. My phone is my life. It's my business. It's everything. So, especially being in the mortgage business, everything is now.
Right.
So, hey, I'm putting an offer on this home. I really need this pre-approval. Hey, I really need to run this numbers. I'm putting an offer in. I really need this money. This is my investment property. I'm looking to acquire another property. Everything is so go.
Yeah, man.
And, you can definitely apply that into any business.
Yep.
And I definitely want to learn a little bit more about some of your sales tactics that, the people listening and watching can apply this to their business.
Yeah.
So what would you say is like the number one way to build trust and rapport with someone? Is there like a specific method that you have or something you do in particular that you've seen works the best?
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is being personable, right? You have to build a connection with someone that's outside of whatever you're trying to sell. Right. So like I mentioned with City Fitness, the first time you meet that person is probably the most important, because, are you walking up to them, giving them a handshake, a firm handshake, right? Do you have a smile on your face when you're walking up to them, right? Because that's the first thing that they're going to see from you, right? And you want them to remember, the best things about you, right? So asking about their day, asking how they're doing, like, get into all of those details, make them talk more than you're talking, right? They're the most important person in front of you. So, I think that's like one of the first things that anyone should focus on when it comes to sales.
Make the client the star of the show.
Exactly. Because they are, right? And I think another sales tactic is just being good at what you do, right? You have to be good at what you do. Know what you're talking about. Do your research, study, be the best in your industry, right? And like talking to you before, like when you told me about mortgages, I'm just like, this guy knows what he's talking about. I would get, deep into this with you, because, we talked about how the position is for you and the ups and downs, but you were also being honest with me, So, I think that's another big thing. Honesty too. Honesty. Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes I know, like, when you're really trying to make a sale, like, you can throw in a little white lie, but it's best to be honest, throughout the whole sale. Because you want that client to join you on that ride, for a very long time, right? So they can help you, build your business by referring other people as well.
Absolutely. All right. So as you guys see, we actually had to move locations. Our phones, we also have a GoPro going, got overheated at the same exact time. So luckily we didn't lose much time where we're just talking into nothing. Cool, man. So we kind of ended up where, talking obviously some sales tactics. And then I asked you right before it cut off, what were some satisfying pieces of being a trainer? What were the most satisfying parts for you?
Yeah. So, I think being able to, coach and direct a group of people efficiently is, one of the greatest skills that I think I took away from being a coach, right? It was something that you really have to practice, but it showed that the more you practice on, certain things, the better you'll get, right? The more efficient you'll be, right? So, I think that was probably one of the most satisfying things, and also just building a lot of connections, right? Knowing that the clients that were there for me, and they knew that I was giving them such a great experience each and every single time that they came in.
Everyone talked about how great you were all the time. So I think that what you're saying it is straight up proof. I've never met anyone that said, I wasn't a fan of or any of nothing. I never heard anything negative about you.
Yeah.
All I heard was literally how positive you are, how, your smile, everyone compliments your smile, and, how nice you were. So it's awesome.
Man. Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah. I hear it all the time, but I think a big thing to even mention is, sometimes it's hard, for people to realize that, right? Or embrace that. I'm not a negative person or anything, but you know how our minds are. Our minds play tricks on us. We're like, we have so many different thoughts in our heads, and majority of the time it's negative thoughts. So, trying to combat that, those negative thoughts with, hearing people saying good things about you and knowing that, you were really good at something is, you should take that. You should take that to heart and believe in yourself. So
I 100% agree.
Yeah, man.
So I want to talk about, Philly a little bit. So
awesome. Yeah.
I was talking about born and raised in Philly. Are you into the food scene at all? Do you like any of the restaurants in town?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of different restaurants. Me and my girlfriend are like, we're always trying new food. Like, we love trying new food. We've been to a lot of different places. So,
what are some of your favorites? What are some of your favorite spots?
Let's see. It's going to be a tough one because there are a lot of places that we've been to all the time, right? And then they kind of just, fell off, So I don't know if it's like changing management, changing cooks.
Oh, let's call them out. You want to call them out?
No, I'm not going to call any out. I'm not going to call any out. But I will say, since we are on 2nd Street,
okay.
A lot of these places, we're not coming here anymore just because, I don't know, the food is just not there anymore. We used to, always come to El Camino. El Camino was a great spot for some nachos and a margarita, but, it's not the same.
No.
I don't know if you've been.
El Camino, yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
I think El Camino is on the better end.
Okay, good.
Figo, they're not my favorite. Like
we've had them too, and they were good, but I feel like it could be better.
I mean, you have so many great options. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with Murph's on Girard.
Yo, I've heard, and I still haven't been. Yeah. So I think the reason why I haven't been there is because they don't have reservations. I'm always
you gotta show up.
Exactly. I hate waiting. I just want to get to my seat and eat my food. So
you got to go at like the perfect time.
Exactly. But I will say there's this one spot we just recently went to. It's a new restaurant. It's called Almira in Center City.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. I had the short rib and we had a chicken kebab. And their drinks are spectacular. So, yeah.
Oh, well, that's definitely next on my list.
So you should try that. You should try that. What's your favorite spot?
Oh man. So like favorite spot, it's always tough for me to say because like I go for like genre, right? We're talking American, or we're talking about Italian? Like what are we going off of?
Exactly.
Hands like Murph's is definitely going to be top up there, especially being local and like Fishtown, Northern Liberties area.
Nice.
Definitely going Murph's. That's going to be top of the list. Now, if we want to go like further Center City, I don't know, man. It depends. It's so tough.
It depends, man. It depends. That's why when you ask me that question, I'm like, I don't know how to answer this. So
I do agree. The 2nd Street lacks a little bit. I definitely seen it. It's tough, man. I feel like restaurants have not been the same since, after the pandemic. I feel like everything's just been harder for restaurants. Prices have gone up. It's been hard to maintain quality. So, I'm not going to give out negative reviews over here, but at the same time, we definitely want to see some step up game for the Northern Liberties.
100%, man. 100%. Yeah. And listen, I don't blame these restaurants. But there is like a lot more work to be done right now that, hopefully these restaurant owners are noticing that like you have to put in a lot more work just because of everything that's happened during the pandemic. So, good food and good drinks is all the people need. That's it. That's it. If your food is spectacular and the vibe, I think is also one of the most important things for a restaurant. You add all of those together. I think people will just keep coming back. They'll keep coming back. Yeah.
So you mentioned, your girlfriend. So, all the ladies out there, a man's not single here. How'd you guys meet?
So we actually met, it was in college. In college,
okay.
Yeah. So we both dropped out of college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were both, in different colleges. She was at Temple. I was at LaSalle.
Oh, yeah.
And, she went to, she actually dropped out of college first. So she was kind of the inspiration for me dropping out of college.
How long have you guys been together for?
It's been, 4 years now.
Oh, wow.
So 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a pretty long time. But it's been a good time, right? Because we've, learned together and grown together, especially as business owners. She is a business owner herself.
Okay.
So,
what type of business?
Yeah. So she's an esthetician.
Oh, yeah.
So she is a facial specialist and, she's doing spectacular, and now we're moving to Cali. So
there we go.
Yeah,
power couple here.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And breaking the news to you guys. You want to let the audience know?
Yeah. I'm moving to California, so I'm gonna be moving to the Woodland Hills area, so right outside of LA. And, I feel like it's going to be a really, really good space, to open up our businesses and, expand our businesses and to grow a little bit more.
So everyone knows you for being in the fitness space and being a trainer and, building out a fitness business. So let's talk about some of your other businesses because I know you're, diversified in the space of entrepreneurship. Yeah. So I know you have Airbnbs and you also have a cleaning business.
I do. Yeah.
So this is a real estate focused, but entrepreneurship podcast. So let's talk a little bit about your Airbnbs first.
Yeah, of course. So, I think the main inspiration that I got with Airbnb, I've always wanted to do it. But my business partner, Jamal Johnson, he actually lives in Northern Liberties as well. He actually gave me like more of the inspiration because he trains at City Fitness. So I've coached him a lot and we've always had those conversations. And I was just like, I gotta look into this a little bit more. I gotta figure out how I can get into, the Airbnb market. And in my mind, like before I even started, I think the most difficult part was getting started and trying to understand like how can I get into this market without a lot of money? Because I thought it was just going to take a whole bunch of money, but it actually didn't. So first thing I did when I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call up a whole bunch of landlords and see who would be willing to rent out their space, so I can use it for Airbnb. And the funny thing is, the first landlord I called, was the one. The first one that I called was the one. Yeah. Yeah, man. So
some people make 1,000 calls. You make one call.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I think it was the actual like location that I picked. So I think I was on hotpads.com and I saw like a fully furnished place. I'm like, see, this looks like it's an Airbnb.
Right.
So I called her up, my landlord now. And I was kind of just talking to her about the idea of an Airbnb, and come to find out when we scheduled a meeting together, come to find out she was an Airbnb host as well. She showed me a few of her locations and she decided that she wanted to mentor me, along the journey. So she did end up, giving me one of her locations. All right.
Wow.
I wouldn't say give, but like she's helped me get into one of her locations, and I kind of just started from there. And I just acquired my second Airbnb location, just last month. Thank you, man.
Wow.
Thank you.
Were they both in Philly or?
Yeah. Both in Philly, University City, and it's in the same building. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you book with Sidi over here.
Yeah, man. I need some out of towners. I don't know if the Philadelphians.
No house parties.
Yeah, no house parties. Yeah, man.
And tell us about your cleaning business.
Yeah. I think, the cleaning business is the one. I'm really grateful to have started something that, I believe in. So this is, a business that me and, Jamal started. And when we started Airbnb, he's been an Airbnb host for years, but when I started Airbnb, we kind of talked about, it's hard to find good cleaners. It's really hard to find good and consistent cleaners. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, we should start a cleaning company. We talked about this, I think, last December. We were just talking about it last December, January, and we were like, I think this would be a great idea. We should like do some research and look into this. He told me a few of his friends actually, have cleaning businesses, around the area and out of state. And then we kind of let it go a little bit. We kind of stopped talking about it. And then I think in February, I was like, you know what, let's do it. Let's go for it. And we got all of the legal stuff done. We created logos, we created everything, and we just went for it. And, as you can see now, like we're building our clientele and everything has been good so far.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, congratulations first and foremost.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us about client acquisition. How are you finding clients right now? What's your strategy with that?
Yeah. So for me, as of right now, I think it's been a little bit difficult. I'm going to be completely honest. It's been a little bit difficult. Some things are just not going the way we needed to, for like lead generation, but we are doing a lot of, just reaching out to friends, family. I went through,
influence.
Yeah, exactly. I went through literally my entire contact list. I built like a lot of connections with my old clients, and I reached out to all of them. I let them know what I'm working on. And, a lot of them were supportive. A lot of them were very, very supportive. And like, I appreciated that. So, Jamal reached out to a lot of his friends, his family members, and a lot of them have been very supportive with it. And, my girlfriend as well has been super helpful with it. And, it's growing because of it, right? Because we're getting people to talk about us, right? And I think the biggest thing is trying to figure out what makes us different. And I figured it out. Figured it out, man.
What makes, it's King's Cleaning, right?
Yeah, King's Cleaning Company. Yeah.
What makes King's Cleaning Company different?
What makes us different is that we are exceeding our client expectations. So we don't want to be a company that just comes in and comes out, right? Like we want to actually take care of you and your needs, right? As a client. And I've learned that a lot with, City Fitness, right? And I'm not going to say, City Fitness did it for me, but I learned that myself. Client retention is very, very, very important. If you don't know how to take care of your clients, they're not going to stick around. And I've had clients at City Fitness that stuck around with me, through the entirety of me being a coach. And then they stuck around even when I dropped out of being a coach, which is crazy, right? But it showed that there was a lot of value with, how I spoke to them and let them know, like, this is not about me. It's about, you and your health, right? Cause a lot of them were like, well, if you leave, then I'm leaving. And I'm like, listen, it's not about me. It's really not about me. I know I was a great coach, but there are also other great coaches that that could be great leaders for you. So,
So your cleaning business, what type of services do you offer? Do you offer like clean outs for like real estate, or do you do like just home cleaning? Like what are some of the services you provide? Yeah.
So we do deep cleans, routine cleans. So we come in like either bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, whatever works best for our clients. We've been working with a lot of real estate agents as well. I want to shout out, Katarina. She works for, I think it's Citywide.
Okay.
I think she works for Citywide. So I'm gonna shout her out because she's been, super helpful and into getting us into that market.
Shout out Katarina.
Shout out Kat. And she also works out of City Fitness and
cool.
has also been one of my clients and is also a client of my girlfriend. So she's amazing. And I appreciate her and her support, for our, through our businesses and our journey. So, yeah, but mainly deep clean. So we kind of started off with, let me restart this. We actually wanted to start off with commercial cleaning.
Okay.
So we wanted to just do commercial.
Like office buildings and stuff?
Yeah, office buildings and, construction.
Yeah.
Because the first thing that came to my mind too when I was starting this business is like, okay, how can we make this business as profitable as possible? Right. And I realized that it was going to be difficult, but a lot of people like online was saying that, starting a commercial cleaning business is really good because you'll get a lot of money from it. You'll get consistent work. And that is very true. But I found that once we started cleaning homes, there was more of a connection there. And I think that's probably one of the most important things for me is building a connection with people. And Jamal will tell you this too. He's been in the car dealership game and, you know how car dealers are. They're super hard and they just want to sell you the car. But, he's been very successful in that business because of building these connections with people and people that have bought cars from him, are still friends with him, years later. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's awesome. So, it really, it's cliche to say, but your network is your net worth.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. That's a great way to say it, man. That's a great way to say it. So, I 100% believe in building, strong relationships with people because those people, you never know when they're going to come back into your life. So you literally never know. So.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about some fun stuff. So.
All right, let's go.
So throughout your training tenure, any celebrities, influencers, anything like that throughout the way?
Oh man, that's funny that you say that because I was talking to, I told my cousin the story, on Saturday. I really don't want to, name the person, but I'm going to say their name because they were a big influence when I was growing up. Okay. So it was a YouTuber. What's his name? Let me think of his name. Okay. All right. We'll restart this.
Okay.
Cause I just got caught up, but I remember his name. Okay. So it was actually a big YouTuber.
Okay.
His name is FouseyTube.
Okay. Yeah. So, of course.
Yeah. So, I used to watch his videos. So
It's the stuff we grew up on.
yeah, exactly. Like we grew up on all those pranks and everything. So, he came in one day and they put him with me, and I was like, oh shit, like this is dope. Like, cause I don't see a lot of celebrities, in Philadelphia. You won't usually see a lot of celebrities in person, but, it was a good experience. So.
Cool dude?
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Works out hard?
Yeah, man. So I kicked his butt, but he was just here for a little bit. And I think he's living in LA. So
cool. Maybe we'll run into him out there.
I know. Yeah, probably will.
You got his number?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Maybe, definitely connections out there. Maybe he could introduce you and, start cleaning out some YouTuber houses.
I know.
Are you gonna expand your business out to
California? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be in the Woodlands Hills area where I'm going to be living. And I'm going to try to expand it, to surrounding areas as well, but, just going to try to figure it out. Just start off in that one area and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, that might be good niche.
Yeah.
Like influencers, like people who are like, I know like people have these like TikTok houses with like 10, 15 people stuffed inside one mansion. Like,
I know, man. They're not going to want to clean their homes. So,
no, absolutely not.
Exactly. So, and that's what I found was, the biggest thing with the cleaning company is that everyone needs their home cleaned. Yeah. I use cleaning like myself as, an escape sometimes, right? But do I feel like it? Not really. Yep. So, I think the best thing about this cleaning company is that, me and Jamal, we're not the cleaners, right? We are managing, we are, marketing, we're bringing the jobs to the cleaners.
Absolutely. Exactly. You're like the relationships, building the accounts.
Yeah.
You're worrying about fulfilling and customer experience.
Exactly.
You're not actually doing the task at hand.
Exactly.
So that's good. That's good. You're building value, you're creating jobs.
Yeah.
So it's excellent. I think it's a great business, and, you're already crushing it now. And I'm excited to see excited to see when you're on all, the whole country and every state.
Yeah, man.
And you see your vans going by everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Like that. And that'll be like, that'll be the next step. So, I think with the cleaning business itself is that, it doesn't cost much to get into it. Right. And if you know what you're doing, I mean, you probably won't know what you're doing, right? Like for me, we kind of just jumped into it and we figured everything out, but we used our resources. So, we had friends that have cleaning businesses, we talked to them, we asked them questions, and, sometimes, you can be indecisive, right? Yeah. You might not know if you're making the right decisions or not. And we've made a lot of mistakes, on the way of doing things, but we've learned from the mistakes, and now we're moving on from them. And it's good for us to take those mistakes, write it down, and be like, okay, this is not what we're going to do. Right. And being able to manage a team and letting them know that, we're here for them, throughout the entire journey I think is super important.
I agree.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Woodland Hills area, make sure you hit up King's Cleaning. I know from firsthand experience, they're great, and I would not bring Sidi on the podcast if I didn't see value in any of his businesses. He's a great stand-up guy, and make sure you hit up his company and hit him up, because solid dude.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
So I know you're leaving Philly, but talk a little bit more about it. What are some of your favorite spots, man? Like going out, just grabbing a drink, like hanging out. What would some of your favorite spots were in the city?
So, okay, so there's this Mexican place called Nemi in Port Richmond.
Yeah.
You've been there?
Yeah, I actually have.
That's a dope spot. So I like to go there sometimes just to chill, have a drink, right? And they're great people in there, and it's a low key spot. So a lot of people don't know about
great
it.
Great happy hour too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know about it. So I'm there.
No gatekeeping here.
Yeah, no gatekeeping. No gatekeeping. I won't be here anyways. but that's a good spot for me. And, what else? Not sure, man. I usually don't drink that much anymore. So
okay. That's good.
Yeah, which is good. Gotta stay focused.
Do you do like a lot of, like meal prep? Like how do you like, where do you kind of just like eat what you can because you're so busy with work? Like,
Yeah. So, me and my girlfriend have been doing a better job with that, with finding a balance. You know, we found that, okay, eating out all the time, buying food all the time was just not healthy.
Right.
You know, it didn't correlate with our work days because we would feel more exhausted and tired, you know, lethargic throughout our days. And we decided, okay, let's at least cook dinner, you know, three times a week.
Yeah.
Right. Let's at least cook dinner 3 times a week and let's make that our priority.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once we started doing that, we started feeling better, you know, making breakfast every morning. It's super important, super important. Yeah. I don't meal prep anymore, but I was, eating, Be Well Fed.
Okay.
I probably know that spot in No Libs, but it's
Actually, I don't.
meal prepping service.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Be Well Fed. Super good spot. We kind of stopped from it though, but it's a great spot for anyone that, you know, doesn't want to cook or doesn't feel like cooking.
Do you have a Be Well code?
I don't have a code, but, Be Well Fed, if you're looking to give us a code, you know, let us know. King's Cleaning.
Yeah, there you go. What would you advise someone, we're right around the corner from summer, someone who's looking to lose fat, tone up a little bit for summer, how would you approach that? What advice would you give?
So I would say you got to stay consistent, because the first thing, you know, that people decide is that, okay, they're going to go on a diet. They're going to start working out, right? First thing you have to do is get started, but then you have to stay on track. You have to stay consistent. So how are you going to do that? Right? You have to give yourself the opportunity each and every single day. Remind yourself what that goal is, you know, for the next 2, 3, 6 months, and stick to it. Right? Just take it one day at a time. But when it comes to losing fat, just choosing the right foods, right? Because diet is, you know, 70% of that goal that you have.
Definitely.
Right? And yeah, man.
Would you recommend someone counting their calories, or do you think that's not really sustainable?
So I've always told my clients I would say start off with doing it for like the first 1 to 2 weeks,
wow,
or even 3 weeks, right? Just to see the amount of calories that you're actually taking in, especially if you're eating the same foods consistently. Mm-hmm. So now you have an idea of, okay, all right, this is what I'm going to be eating throughout the day. And now I don't need to count those calories. All right. Now I don't need to, you know, count the protein and all of that, because it does get, it's draining. It's really draining to look at those numbers all the time. And, you know, it's just like when you hop on the scale every day just to look at your weight. Yeah. That's also not a healthy thing to do. You should try just hopping on once a week, same time, once a week.
Like that.
Yeah.
And I think that, consistency is definitely something that you can apply in all aspects of your life, right? Whether it's diet, whether it's work, whether it's you're building up towards something.
Exactly.
I think you have to be consistent in all areas. Yeah. And if it was easy to be consistent, then everyone would be, you know, ripped. Everyone would
be great.
Be a millionaire.
Exactly.
It would be great.
Exactly.
It's showing up, doing what you have to do, and the results will follow.
Right.
So
yeah, man.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, taking the time out of your day. I know you're pretty busy, so thank you for taking the time out of your day, man.
Of course, man. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And make sure you want to shout out your socials so everyone can follow.
So you guys can follow me. Just follow the business page, King's Cleaning PHL. You can check out our website, kingscleaningphl.square.site, just to get a free consultation or a free estimate for your home, your living space, whatever that is. And, you know, we'll reach out to you right away. So
cool. Appreciate it. Give them a follow ASAP. Do it right now. I know.
Sir,
hey,
do it right now.
You're on your phone. You're going to pull up Instagram and give them a follow.
Exactly. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Let's go.